The Ghana Football Association is set to decide the fate of Black Stars head coach Otto Addo and his technical team after Ghana's failure to qualify for the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations. GFA Communications Director Henry Asante Twum also confirmed consultations with stakeholders, including the Ministry of Sports, have concluded, with recommendations now before the GFA Executive Committee. Otto Addo has come under heavy criticism following Ghana's dismal AFCON qualifying campaign, one of the team's worst in years. As the Black Stars prepare for the FIFA World Cup 2026 qualifiers against Chad and Madagascar in March 2025, the GFA's decision will be pivotal to the team's rebuilding efforts and aspirations to regain their former glory. Well, joining us now, all the way from Accra, is Felix Rumark. He's a sports journalist in Accra, Ghana. Felix, oh, sorry, my friend. I can see you yawning. It must be too much, too much banku and light soup, eh? Too much banku, light soup and chicken. Eh?
You caught me right.
I caught you. I understand. Merry Christmas to you too, brother. How are you? Nice to see you.
I'm great.
Yes. Great. So this decision, ordinarily, it looks like an open and shut case. You know, Addo hasn't done particularly well at the AFCON. He's also bungled on the AFCON qualification series as well. What consultations do the GFA need to do again before they pull the trigger? It's inevitable. Everybody knows. Even my producer here knows that this man is going to get fired. But the question is, why are they foot dragging and trying to make it seem like a song and dance?
Well, I think that the decision would have to be made by the Ministry of Youth and Sports, because they are the paymasters. They are the ones that pay the coach. So if you are going to fire the coach, you shouldn't forget the fact that you have almost a 3-year contract with the coach, and we are yet to even finish a year of the contract. It means that if you are sacking him now, there should be compensation, and the compensation won't be paid by the Football Association. It will come from government. So you need to consult government, you know, and give them reason why you want to fire the coach, and you have to give them reason why they also have to pay the compensation. But we shouldn't forget that the government itself is still owing coaches that have been sacked before Otto Addo came. So Chris Hilton, who was fired, you know, in Ivory Coast, or after the AFCON in Ivory Coast, is still being owed some, you know, compensation packages. Even Siki Akuno as well. So they are outstanding, you know, monies that have to be paid for contract abrogation that the previous coaches, you know, who had terminated their contract with the Football Association. So all these consultations needs to be done with government. But then again, there's another major problem in the sense that the current government is leaving power in about, let's say, less than 2 weeks. So it means that there will be a new sports minister in charge of our sports. So whatever consultation that was held with the FA, there would be another consultation with whoever is coming in as the new sports minister, because the current one is leaving with his political party. There's a new party in power. It means that they are coming to take over the sports ministry, take up the debt that is being owed the previous coaches. And then they also have to agree with the Football Association whether to keep Otto Addo or to sack him. And I think that has been the major problem. Whichever decision the ESCO takes, I think that the final decision will lie with the Ministry of Youth and Sports if they want to continue with the coach. And also, they also don't want to, the new government don't want to trust this Football Association, because the last 5 appointments that they've made, it hasn't gone well, you know, with the national team. So they might also have a rethink and see how best they want to take this matter up. But the decision doesn't lie with the Executive Council of the FA. They would have their meeting and recommend, but the final decision will be made by the Ministry of Youth and Sports and the incoming minister.
Okay, Felix. Beyond, I know that Otto Addo did not show empathy after he failed to qualify Ghana for the 2025 African Cup of Nations, by even citing that he has worked with some of the best coaches in the world. I don't know what that meant, you know. So I realized that he didn't show any empathy to the feelings of the soccer-loving Ghanaian fans. But again, at the last Nations Cup, he was not the one in charge. Do you think the problem of the Black Stars is entirely that of coaching? What about the players, the level of commitment? You know, so are you looking in that direction too?
What about the management? What about the cultural curriculum board? Where do we lay the blame for this?
Well, I totally agree with you guys. We can't, put all the blames on the shoulders of the coach. You also have to question the commitment level of some of the players. And to be very honest, there's been names flying. People talk about Thomas Partey, how committed he is. People talk about players pulling out of injury, Tariq Lamptey. People talk about how committed Inaki Williams is when it comes to Atletico Madrid and when he's playing for Ghana.
Antoine Semenyo as well, yeah.
Yes, Antoine Semenyo as well. Because, we see these guys week in, week out, playing for their European clubs, scoring, assisting, and putting up man-of-the-match performance. You can clearly say Antoine Semenyo is one of the best players in the Premier League this season.
True.
Look at the form that he is in.
Mohamed Kudus as well, yeah.
Mohamed Kudus scoring and sitting on chairs and all that. Thomas Partey is having a fantastic season, injury-free, I should say, with Arsenal. Inaki Williams, close to 500 games for Atletico Bilbao. These players are playing quite some very good football for their club. So you would also have to question their commitment level. And then the Football Association, because at the end of the day, they make their appointment. And you look at the caliber of coaches that they've appointed since the Kett administration came to power, they've all been disappointing. So yes, you have every right to question the commitment of the players, question the decision-making of the Football Association. And these are something that, media men, a lot of Ghanaians here have raised, and even government as well, because, we nearly played our last two qualifiers away from Ghana because of government's lack of commitment to the maintenance of our stadium. So it's a fact. There are a lot of factors, not just the coaching, but then again, you look at the type of players that Ghana has. Do we have a coach currently who has the identity to coach this profile of players? Because nobody can convince Ghanaians that we don't have better players. We have good players who are playing in the top leagues in Europe. But the question has to be the technical team. And when I talk about the technical team, it's not just even about Otto Addo, who is the assistant coach, who is the
goalkeeper coach.
That's the psychologist. So you look at the caliber of technical team that we have. It is quite an inexperienced, technical team. Look at John Pento. John Pento hasn't been in coaching for a very long time. He hasn't been the main coach before. He's an assistant.
If I get you right, you're basically saying that these men were underqualified for this job.
Yes, of course. And if you quite remember, I was in the AFCON. I was at AFCON in Ivory Coast, and they took the decision there to sack the coach. But then again, after AFCON, the Football Association came out with a criteria, a 15-pointer criteria in session for a new coach. And the same Football Association went against their experience, the criteria, to appoint somebody who is not experienced for the job. And that is the reason why Ghanaians are questioning their decision-making as, executive members of the Football Association. Because if you have a committee where you don't have a technical person on the committee, how then do you go and search for a coach who has to act in the technical capacity? So yes, we have to question the decision-making of the Football Association, because they went beyond the outside their own criteria to give the job to Otto Addo. And they gave him a very good contract as well. There has been rumors that should there be a cancellation of the contract, the Football Association is going to pay over 1 million euros.
I think that's your. I think you have been a certain young Romac wants your attention. So I promise we're going to let you go very soon. But Felix, we can't let you go without talking about the match coming up this weekend. The Super Eagles of Nigeria and the Black Galaxies, do or die for Ghana, as it were, because this might be Ghana's only opportunity to appear at a senior international competition next year. Goalless first leg in Accra. Can the Black Galaxies do it, or should they just forget about anything that has to do with men's football for next year?
No, I think that the pressure will be on Nigeria. And I say the pressure will be on Nigeria in the sense that if you remember the Qatar qualifiers.
Oh, God, please don't remind us of that one. Please don't.
Well, I'm making a point. You came to Ghana, you got a 0-0 draw game. Ghana came over, got a 1-1 in that game involving the senior national team. You shouldn't also forget the fact that the last time there was a CHAN qualifiers, Ghana won the first leg, Nigeria equally won the first leg, and then that game went to penalty. So in games that we've played the first leg in Accra or in Ghana, the second leg has been in favor of the Ghanaians. So I'm sure the pressure will be on the Nigerian team not to repeat that kind of results. But it would also be very, very, awful on our part if we fail to qualify for two major CAF organized competitions. So the boys are very determined to make sure that, we've missed out on AFCON, we can't miss out on CHAN. But hey, it's going to be a very cracking game. I don't think that the Ghanaians will know very well that 0-0 is a very good scoreline, especially with the clean sheets to their advantage. But I think that Nigeria will surely be favorite in this particular one. But hey, in football, the favorite don't always win. And I'm hoping that at the end of the day, we should get, at least you guys have qualified for.
Oh, God, no, we want votes. We want votes, Felix. No. Today you remember you are our brothers. You remember we are your brothers today. Felix Romack.
We will support you guys at AFCON. So give us a chance.
Felix Romack, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Merry Christmas to you and your family as well. I know they need your attention, so please, we'll like to let you go. But thank you so much for your time. Always a pleasure having Felix on the show.